Hey everyone, this is Amy Pemble. I am the product manager for CDI, Summon, and 360 in Entoda. We are joined joined together today to review the Q3 release. I hope that you're ready to see some great projects that we've been working on. Specifically, they've come out of the Ideas Exchange and NERS voting process. So we have a lot of community-based features that you're going to be seeing in the August 7th release. So our agenda today looks like this. Going to take a look at the release calendar, see what's coming up both for August and the end of the year. We're going to review some recent Q2 and monthly release projects that went into Summon, CDI, and 360. And then I want to dive into some of those great projects that I mentioned for the Summon August release. I want to talk about briefly about the 360 and Entoda August release. I will also take a sneak peek at what's coming up for the rest of the year and talk about some community engagement opportunities that are available to you. So we are halfway through the release year. And as I mentioned, our quarterly release date is coming up a week from today, August 7th. The preview release date went out on July 24th. And our final release is going to be in production on November 6th with a preview release date of October 23rd. Just a reminder that Summon and 360 and Entoda have the same quarterly release dates. That's why we kind of combine these into the same webinar. And there's always a monthly maintenance release that comes out on the first Wednesday of all other months. There have been some features that have been rolling out with those monthly releases, the maintenance releases, and I've been trying to post release notes where it makes sense. I imagine that most of you don't care about the infrastructure upgrades that we do, but there have been some interesting pieces and features coming out in those. So do check the release notes page for those, and I will continue to message those on the listserv. Just to review what we did in the last quarterly release, we auto-enabled quick links by default. So I hope everyone who hadn't already taken a look at those, at that feature, was able to do so, and hopefully you decided that it was a great feature to turn on and a great bonus for your users to be able to have one click direct linking to PDFs and HTML files from more than 50 providers and about 1.5 billion records in CDI. We also released the ability to do a bulk export of search results into the preview environment only. Happily, you all have been iterating over that and suggesting some great feedback, and we have been incorporating that into the last monthly release, and we have some features going out in August 7th, or I should say some enhancements for that feature going out on the August 7th release, and probably more in the September monthly release too. As I said, it was excellent feedback. We just couldn't attack it all at once. We did another NERS project, which was the ability to display the full title on mouse over or hover rather than having it just be cut off. And in the, I believe it was a July monthly release, we added the ability to search notes by default. We removed notes from the default search back in November 2023, I believe, and that was for performance reasons. So we have included a way to do that now, and it's simply a matter of contacting support and asking them to add that back in for you. So all those things are available now. Looking forward to the Q3 Summon release, here are some of the highlights. As I said, we have some great projects that came from all of you that you voted on to be represented in Summon. The first is the ability to save items between sessions. The second is releasing that bulk export of search results feature into production. The third is replacing replacing the sum in auto scroll or the infinite scroll of search results with pagination. And the fourth is the ability to do a verbatim search operator for exact matching. And I know that one's not terribly obvious, but I will get into the details in a second. So saved items between sessions. What does that get you? It allows the users to permanently save citations to their account. Currently saved items are only retained for the current session, and then they go away. And it doesn't and it doesn't matter if you're authenticated or not. They're simply retained for the current session. This new feature is going to allow users to authenticate via Google, Microsoft, or SAML, and be allowed to retain those saved items in an account permanently. Now, where that account lives depends on the authentication method. If it's a Google or Microsoft authentication method, then those items will be saved to those clouds. So not ours, not Ex Libris. If it's a SAML authentication, those items will be saved to the Ex Libris cloud. And that's how they are able to be retained between sessions. Where does that configuration live? It's in Customizer, Advanced Settings. You can see here there's a new feature called Saved Items Enabled. Right now, the default value is on. So I'm going to ask for that to be changed. I'm not sure when that change will occur. But so if you already have saved searches enabled in an authentication method, then saved items will be on by default. So if that's not something that you're interested in, please do take a look and make sure that you do a custom value for that saved items enabled parameter and turn it to off. If you don't have saved search enabled on and you don't have any authentication methods turned on, then saved items will not be enabled upon production release. So what this looks like in practice is the first time a user during a session, an unauthenticated user in a session clicks that saved items icon, they'll be prompted to log in. Just say, it's just a message that says, if you want to save these permanently, please authenticate. And they're presented with the methods that you've set up. Once they dismiss that message, sorry, let me go back. If they dismiss this message, then they won't see it again for the rest of the session. So it's just a one-time thing. What it looks like from the saved items screen is that those authentication methods are again displayed in that upper right hand part of the pane. And it's just a friendly nudge to say, hey, if you want to save them permanently, you got to log in. And there's some help text that goes along with that. So as I mentioned, the bulk export of search results feature that has been in preview for a couple months allows the user to email the full result set up to 1,000 hits, I should qualify that, with a single action. So this is going to be moved into production next Wednesday. And here are some of the enhancements that we have been including for this feature, and this was all based on your feedback. We are including translations for the email subject, report title, and the default email text. We are returning a URL for the summons search result in the bookmark field of that report instead of the kind of incomprehensible bookmark hash. We are standardizing the date format to YYYYMMDD, and we're providing clearer messaging for the 1,000 item limit. As I said, you can email a full result set up until 1,000 items. So the message, it's pretty clear now. It says only the first 1,000 will be returned. So the replacing the sum in auto scroll with pagination was a really big project. And it was big because we heard loud and clear from our customers that the infinite scroll or the auto scroll of search results pages is a huge accessibility concern. And we certainly agree. And so we put a lot of thought and design into making this correct. So this will be released to everyone next in production on August 7th. There is no option to retain the auto scroll or the infinite scroll. Everyone is going to see pagination on search results pages. The options are to display 10 or 25 results. The default value is 10, and you can change it to 25 in the customizer settings general section. And the name of that parameter is default number of search results. As I said, you know, we put a lot of design into this. I've got a screenshot of the pagination. It's not terribly exciting, but there was a lot of thought and iteration that went on behind the pages because we knew this was an accessibility concern. So we wanted to make sure we, you know, went all out on making sure that it is as accessible as possible. So that includes things like the pagination area is identified as navigation, has a label of pagination, controls our list items with accessible labels, and each control can be reached with keyboard only. The fourth NERSC project that we are implementing, this came out of a combination of summon and Primo requests. And the use case for this, particularly from the Primo community, was that a user that performs a phrase search, so something in quotes, is expecting an exact match, and they don't want to see any stemming or variations or any changes or any like language variants, for example. They think the thought of that community is that, as I said, when you do a phrased search, it should match exactly what the user typed. Because this, as I mentioned, this came out of both the Primo and Summon communities, but because the work has to be done in CEI, we wanted to offer this to Summon clients as well. But we realized that this would be quite a change to impose on you and your users for the following reason. It's much more than just stemming. The current logic does, in addition to stemming, does spelling, casing, and character normalization. It looks for synonyms. We do language comparisons. So you know, if you search for color, COLOR, we will return, or CDI will return hits that also have the British spelling of COLOUR. As I said, this would be quite a change and would be pretty noticeable for our Summon users. So we decided to make this an optional feature by making it a new search operator. So this is something that you can add to the end of a phrased search or a search in quotes. The example here is I just put query in quotation marks, and the new operator is the equal sign. So immediately after the phrase search, if you add an equal sign, it will disable all of the current stemming, normalization, synonyms, and language variants that I just described. So for an example of what this might look like, I did a search for Niagara Fall. So this is going without the new search operator. So this is what you would currently see in search results. The hits I got, you can see the total is some 923,000. But then if I add the equal sign, oh shoot, that misaligned, sorry everyone. If I add the equal sign, my circle totally overwrote that, my fault, but it's some 670,000. So it definitely lowered the number of results I saw by disabling some of that automatic normalization, stemming, and language variants. The new operator is described in the help screen available from Summon. So you can go there, you can look at that in preview right now if you wanted to, and you can give this a spin in preview to see what you think and if it's something that you think your users will find useful and that would be important to describe in how to searching. So for the 2024 Q3 release, the 360 and Intoda highlights include updated labeling in 360 and Intoda. Instead of referring to the Summon Index, which is of course what we originally called CDI, we have changed some of those labels, or all the labels, to CDI, just to make it clear that, you know, or just to make it clear that we're talking about CDI and that Summon Index isn't some weird separate thing. This came out quite a bit at eLuna, so I'm glad we were able to fit it in. So again, you're going to see CDI replacing Summon in a variety of labels, like Summon coverage, things like that. We have a new URL customization parameter for the reprints desk that will be in authorization settings. It's called SSO. That might be something that you need to add to your reprints desk activations. We are still working on integrating the new Crossref API in order to get all that great enrichment for 360 Link. That's going to be rolling out, and it's going to be not obvious to you or your users, but it is something that we need to tackle by the end of the year. And we've got more than 50 bug fixes going out. You've probably heard from support about these, or will in the next coming days. So what does Q4 have in store for us? In terms of Summon, excuse me, we have a new carousel widget, which is pictured on the left here. And this is a widget that allows you to create a search using the Summon search syntax, but embedded in other websites. So you can put something like this display here on, for example, an intranet site, the library's homepage, professor's site, anywhere where you think it would be valuable to highlight a certain type of content, or a certain subject, or a certain author, or maybe a monthly awareness theme. Anywhere that you want to predefine a search and get it in front of clients and have them be able to take a look and then click through to a particular resource and see it in Summon. So it's a way of marketing your materials, and it's a way of meeting folks where they are, and of getting them into Summon. We are going to be working on improving that support for custom JavaScript and CSS. We know right now it's a little difficult to manage in Customizer, and so we're going to try to make that considerably easier. The ability to open a search within Journal in a new tab will be included. We are working on improving book review identification. As I've said before, currently we have too many book reviews that are being miscategorized as books. We know how frustrating it is for users to click through to what they think is a book, but then get to a review instead. So that's a matter of, excuse me, that's a matter of adjusting some logic and improving the way we recognize book reviews. We're doing the analysis for trying to distinguish in press or ahead of press or ahead of print items, and starting to strategize about how we can identify those and alert users to where they might best be available. In exciting news, we're going to begin integrating the new AI-powered research assistant into Summon. This has been beta tested by both Primo and Summon customers for the last several months. Primo will be releasing this first, and then we're going to be coming in and releasing our Summon integration with it in the first quarter of next year. So it's obviously a big project that would be taking up quite a bit of time. The auto holdings the auto holdings feature, thanks to the advocacy of a wonderful product working group member, I was able to connect just this week with someone from Project Muse. We have the documentation, and we're going to be starting to work on that. Upcoming events. The big one, of course, is Igloo. It's going to be in Copenhagen at the beginning of September. Here are the details of those dates. And there's a registration link. If you're interested in, I believe you can register through almost the end of August. And with that, I am going to start checking my chat. Yeah, indeed, applause. If you have any questions, can you please put them in the Q&A? All right, I don't see any questions coming through. However, you can see my email here, and well, you probably already know how to reach me. Please do reach out to me or support if you have any questions about these features or anything else that I can help you with. Thank you for joining me today, and thanks for being super customers. This was a fun release to do. We like when we're fulfilling the requests that you've asked for. It's a good feeling. Thanks, everyone. Have a super day. I'll talk to you soon.